Oh, look at him.
Hello, hello
Oh,
again.
look at him. From break to interview, pretty fresh. Hopes are still alive for LLS. They're getting dim. They're getting dim. You're one step away. Pretty fresh. Talk to me. That was a long game as well, but talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, the game went kinda how we wanted it to go.
Really?
Just played really slow early. We knew the risk of picking smaller into Eshlar Karma that we're gonna lose the lane, we're gonna lose the first drakes. It's fine, we scaled the stacks. We kinda got the stacks a bit too late for our own comfort, but it ended up working out pretty well. And we also had a really good team fight and at the fourth drake.
Was the objective to get the jungler always on the mid lane and shut down custom? Was that the objective? Because, I mean, I don't know if it's like a Boy Scout thing, but you guys were camping him non-stop, man. That was
yeah, for early game, man. Him losing the flash, it was like game-breaking deal. It's just we just camp him out, and he's not gonna be in the game. And like that's how we win the early mid game and play through that first. And later on, the smaller stacks and damage comes to the play.
Was it too close to comfort the way this game went, due to the fact that if you lose a game, you're out?
Not really. I mean, I think we were all comfortable of like we were about to win the game no matter what, even though they got like 3 drakes, almost a soul. I think the next games are gonna like it's getting tighter and tighter. The more games we go, but like we're in a situation where we have to win all games from now to get a chance for playoffs. So yeah, I believe in us. I believe in our team.
So I'm looking into the schedule. You'll be fighting versus Verdant next week, and then you wrap it off by fighting Venom Crest themselves.
Yeah.
For the last game. Nervous? Or are you still confident?
We're confident.
Because natives have to win. Natives have to win versus Venom Crest for you to have a shot.
Do they? Wait. Natives got this. Yeah. I trust them. But are they playing it? Yeah. Oh, actually. Does it go like that?
I can go and talk
anyway.
to the tournament organizer, but yeah, it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one for you. There you go. Yeah, Light Side are still in, and Venom Crest have to lose 2 games in a row, and one of those games have to be against you.
Okay.
So if natives win, it's all on your hands.
Natives, my boys. Go smash them.
Natives will leave ever since you were born. Okay, I love it. If you make it to playoffs, that's like a big if. But if you make it to playoffs, what is the team that you want to fight the most?
From playoffs?
Yeah.
Not really sure. Probably DMG, I think.
Why?
I think that those games have been closest out of the other games, and I wanna play against my boy Namex. We fought a lot in Div 2 before, and they also have Bucci, who's like previous light side top laner. So there's like some relationship kind of things going on. So.
Final question for you though. This is a personal one. What is wrong with you picking normally the carries like Zyra, Zeri, and Kai'Sa? What is wrong? What is happening? Do you need to talk? This is a safe space.
I mean, I played some Zeri, some Kai'Sa already, so like I'm kind of playing it all.
I know, but where's the AP, Fruity Fresh?
Oh, I mean, maybe next week. I don't know. Let's see. But they're banning my AP champ, so you know, it's hard. I mean,
you're too good. You're too good. You know that. You're too good.
Yeah, man.
Getting a lot of attention. You know, I'm getting a lot of attention. Thank you so much for this interview. Best of luck. Well, 2 games away from playoffs or a close run. Let's see what happens. Fruity Fresh. Best of luck.
All right, thank you, man. See ya.
And there you go. Sumi was the MVP against all odds. Everybody was fighting against it, but somehow Hiprain threatened everyone. So yeah.
Nah, hold on. What are you saying? I threatened everyone. 8-1 and 9. 1,100 damage per minute. He had such a huge kill share as well. Like, his LeBlanc was absolutely decisive in that game. And it was an interesting...
I would like to testify that Hiprain did indeed threaten everyone.
I might have threatened everyone. I might have fought tooth and nail to give Sumi that MVP, so you owe me, Sumi. But let's be real. Him and Bartoldi played exactly how we want. Well, not exactly how we wanted them to, but they pivoted from what we thought the plan was shut the Mundo down. Instead, they just shut the Victor down. realistically is a squishier target, probably easier to execute. You know, once that flash is down, Victor's very punishable via LeBlanc. They ran away with it. A lot of those gold went to Bartholdi. Bartholdi then was able to translate that into objectives. Other than dragons, they did give up a lot of dragons. But eventually, Sumi was so accelerated that he just made the whole game miserable for everyone. He would put enough damage in that then Fruity could finish everyone up with the execute on the Smolder. Very, very, a very convincing win there from Lightside, but it's the run of schedule is terrifying for them going forwards. You touched on that in the interview there, Archer.
Because if they lose, let me check. Venom Crest, they have to lose both games.
Yep, they have to lose to Natives and then to Lightside, Venom Crest to win. And Venom Crest look terrifying right now. They have really found form in these last couple of weeks.
So it's all on Natives, because Natives will fight versus Venom Crest and they have to win, and then they have to lose versus Lightside. It's in the hands of Natives. They decide playoffs.
Natives, even though they are the second from bottom, hold a lot of power. For the rest of the split, so I'm excited. Oh, they are coming up next as well, and that's
the same thing as a small creature like Golem holding a lot of power in his hands because he's got that ring of power. So natives are becoming this kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to jump on that.
No, you are right. They are akin to Golem right now. Actually, relatively feeble, but hold a lot of power in their hands at the same time. I mean, you're going to see versus Ruddy here. I think this is going to be a pretty hard game for Natives.
This is the thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is the thing I'm bringing to the broadcast. You might know me as a connoisseur of Easter eggs. I started with Emperor Palpatine. Now I go Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. We're talking about Game of Thrones in behind the scenes as well. That's kind of my thing, okay?
I don't think you understand. I worked with Initialize and Nymeta for an entire year. Face to face. There's nothing you can throw at me that will shock. No, actually, nothing. No, nothing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
No, it's good, but it's. I worked an entire year with them. Okay, I went to therapy. I'm okay. I'm prepared for everything. Now there's nothing.
Okay, I take that challenge. I will call upon the forces of Rohan to hate me in that quest.
I like that we're speed running Archer depression. Like, that's where we're at, apparently. What's going on? Anyway, should we talk about the game? Should we talk about running Natives
versus Ruddy? Last time there was no story whatsoever. Will it happen now? Because Ruddy are looking for the 2 digits victory points, 10 wins for them, while Natives are heartbroken, obviously, but they hold the league's power in their hands. Smeagol something, I don't know. So Zach and Leon are being removed from this one. Are they going for the target bans, just as we did in the previous game, or are we actually taking the Tristana, the Corki?
This could be a clown fiesta, by the way. Natives have nothing to lose. Ruddy have nothing to lose. Like, this game could just be absolutely bonkers. We know Ruddy are a bloodthirsty team. I predict this will be a bloodbath. What the champ pools look like could really spell out how much of a clown car has pulled up for this last game of the day, or it might just be regular League of Legends, just a lot of kills going down. We'll have to see. So far the bans and the picks have been, the bans have been somewhat regular. I will talk about the fact though the Rumble is open right now. That has been banned all day. The Tristana, the Corki's open, the Cassante's open, the Ivan's open. There's a lot of very powerful things that are actually left open, and we're actually slightly further down the power list of champions on the ban phases. So it feels to me like everyone's actually quite happy to just take themselves whatever the stronger champions they can get left open, because there's the Rumble ban. I kind of feel this would probably just be a Corki blind pick unless they have something really crazy up their sleeve. We do know Alex does play the Yone, so that is a pretty comfortable go-to for him. We've seen a lot of Ruddy games on that one. I wouldn't be overly surprised, but they do lock in the Aphelios blind.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. It's quite interesting. It also speaks into the potential bloodbath, right? Because Aphelios is kind of one of these champions that really loves to go into those team fights, drop down the ultimate, and then just, smirkily giggle and just run around talking about the fact that he's got the most damage out of the entirety of the team. In the meantime, Rudy's kind of doing the same thing. We've seen Cartus today already. We've seen the amount of impact that he's bringing into those games, just with his mere presence and just with the fact that he can press down the R button and just pretty much just press R to win. Tristana locked in.
I love this.
I mean, Painful can just go for a good old handshake. can make it a bit spicy as well, theoretically. I don't know, Lucian or something. Not Lucian specifically, but you know my point.
I wanted to see the most. The fact that Ruddy don't even care if they're locked in. They just want to make sure they get the best seed possible going into playoffs. We talked about this previously. Some teams may be like, hey, we locked in, so we good. Ruddy are like, no, there's no stopping on victories. We don't take less than the best.
Hui's a weird pick here, actually. Obviously, technically flexible. But I wasn't actually expecting that, especially with the Corki up and available. That to me says that they wanted an AD jungler for Highbrash, because obviously you don't want to go double AP or double AD, keeping that thing flexible. Now remember, this Tristana is also technically a flexible pick here. Nasa can play at bot lane. Alex could then look towards a different mid if they want to flex away from that. I don't think that would be revealed here if that is going to be the case. I expect this to probably just be a support pickup for Alaric, and then look to pinch the pool of the supports, which is already pretty heavily pinched with Leona, Nautilus, and the Rel taken off the board. You are running a little bit low on those engaged tanky supports, so they lock in this Alistair.
Yeah.
They can now pinch away things that handle that very well, and then we'll move on from there.
I do like the pickup of Nocturne, though, not gonna lie, because I feel like that somewhat matches the amount of impact that you bring when you have a Karthus, right? The same thing, you're gonna be afraid of that R button. You will be afraid of the paranoia, you will be afraid of the lights going out, because most of the times it will result into one guaranteed kill, right? Depends on the usage, of course. We've seen players like Whippo, for example, back in the day, use this more like a leverage tool rather than anything else. In the same time, when you were making that point about the supports, interestingly enough, I know this is a bit of a wild thoughts, but I started to think about Thresh, because I remember a lot of players have been telling me that Thresh is one of these weird champions that never is kind of in the meta, but he's never actually falling out of the meta, right? He's always somewhere in that between, like, existing in these shadow death realm, you know, that kind of thing. So I would not be surprised if Ball just goes, you know what, screw it, let's just play Thresh, it's gonna be fine.
I totally agree, because whenever I see Aphelios, I always think of Thresh for a very basic reason, and this is something Jamada taught me a long time ago. Aphelios has no mobility, no escape, no safety button. Thresh gives him that with just a single lantern. So Thresh is a very, very solid pickup alongside the Aphelios. I don't actually know the ins and outs of the Thresh Alistair matchup. I assume Thresh just wins it early because he has range, and Alistair isn't a champion till level 2. Ruddy
can stop Alistair as well,
Yes, Ruddy were thinking about a couple of different options there on the ADC pool. They were hovering the Ashe, but I think the Kai'Sa is definitely the safer lock-in. Also gives them a bit of a hybrid build. You can go AP, you can go AD, you can go both as well. So there's going to be the Thresh hover, at least for Ball. I'm trying to think about who else would be up and available, because Lulu's the other, like, good support for Aphelios, and that's banned.
She's banned.
Yeah, so I feel like the Thresh is probably the safest pick here for them. Now, what are natives missing? A frontline. So you've got the Cassante, you've got the Ornn, the Malphite's banned away. I'm not 100% sure on this. I mean, it's technically a frontline, but I would prefer like a true tank, because right now they're lacking engage and a frontline, and Ornn
would be an amazing pickup. Yeah, absolutely. So either that, or you go into something that you just know that's going to consistently rely more on the fact that it's tanky rather than the fact that it's skirmishy, right? So you would theoretically think of something like a very tanky Gragas. You could think of something like a very tanky Xante, something like this that would just give you a little bit of that more space to work with. Renekton is an interesting choice, but then you can have something like a Jax being picked up, and now you turn it into more of a volatile matchup, right? Now it's more of a skirmish check, a skill check. Who's going to be the one who's going to win those little fights, get that little early lead, and then be able to work around with this? I mean, frankly enough, if you're trying to do something like that, I would be maybe even more up for something like a set, strangely enough.
Yeah, I actually weirdly kind of agree on that, but so, I mean, top lane, I actually low-key expect to be an island until 6 comes through. Both Nocturne and Karthus are probably just going to be power farming and rushing for 6s, so Renekton typically wants to play off a jungler, play in pair, so it's going to be on Highbrash to try and pre-6 gank if he wants to accelerate this Renekton. Built on the Jax is going to, just continue to overpower him as we move later and later into the game, become a split push. Also, slight teamfight menace as well on that Jax, so I do prefer this from the side of Ruddy. That's not biased because Ruddy are just the better team and we all know it. I do think the draft, I just prefer Ruddy overall.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems like Ready takes the W on the desk, but can they do it on the Rift? If they're able to do it, first seed is looking a little bit more achievable for them. They can kind of lock it in for today. Natives have nothing to lose, but they can also ruin everybody's party for the rest remaining 3 days. With this in mind, let's toss it for the last time on week 6, day 1 to the casters. Take it away.
You dare to threaten me, young Padawan Brillman, in terms of references? I heard you on the desk. How dare you? I even would have got my lightsaber. Well, it's not my lightsaber, it was Alex's lightsaber. I wouldn't have stole it from you. Way too hot to be wearing this. But that kind of challenge cannot be allowed to stand. Much like Ruddy will not dare take any kind of guff today from the likes of natives. I know, Darth initialized, mate. I've got like there's a lot of extra stuff in here. I have just random bits of Star Wars things for Halloween lying around. I swear.
That's gonna be my question: is what practical application did your Star Wars garb have?
It makes me feel really happy and warm inside. Generally speaking, much like it will do if Ruddy win today, because then I'll have a perfect day.
Bro, if Ruddy win today, oh wait, did I vote Ruddy? I think I actually voted Ruddy. That's the only thing saving me because I'm screwed up elsewhere. I'm 100% in the negatives after this week. 100%.
No, it's not that bad. Oh no. I mean, like, not gonna put too fine a point on it. Like, look, I just knew with the power of the Force and analysis this was gonna happen, right? It's a pathway to powers many consider unnatural, and that's how I'm gonna segue in my random Jedi intro here to the game as it stands.
It's great. As Darth Yoda once said. With great power comes great responsibility. So
that sounds correct. I think it was in the movie Star Trek, correct?
Sometime when he was going through the Shire, right. Yeah.
There's someone out there, someone is very angry with us. But enough about being angry with us. Let's see what anger is spewing on the Rift, because I think we're about to see some violence. Silliness and personal challenges from Dr. Brillman aside, I am pretty excited for this match. It feels like there's a fair amount of go buttons on both sides, but I am just wary of giving Ruddy all these tools to have these individual members start the 1v1s they're so known for, and then just have this Carthus from Katurikan of all people press R and watch the health bars melt away.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? Just jump in, go forward, go crazy, kick Karukan, press R, and yeah, it's a slaughter. This is an exceptionally aggressive team comp from Ruddy, which is very Ruddy, very, very Ruddy. And I don't know, for natives, they're going to have to survive the onslaught. I do quite like some of the tools that they've drafted here, to be honest. Like, I do quite like it. I think the Thresh paired with Wei and Aphelios is great. I think that's really, really solid. Big fan of that. And having Hybraj on a Nocturne, I like this one too. I was actually talking to Hybraj, like me and him, we're besties, right?
Of course,
he used to watch my videos when he was like 8 years old.
Posted about that on Twitter, which was so cool.
It's so funny, honestly. It makes me feel very old, but still, it's great. Yeah, so obviously he's the best jungler in the league, clearly. But
of course, yeah.
He's learned from the best. But either way, I was talking to him, and just, you know, he feels like he's not being quite as like proactive as he would like to be. You know, or he feels like he's perhaps not playing enough for himself and trying to. I don't want to say like, you know, oh, my team's trash, I need to play for myself. Not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, just kind of getting swept up in maybe just not trusting his team enough, and maybe just being like, you know what, actually, you know, I'm going to play a little bit, do my game,
more
and then
selfishly,
through that,
yeah.
and then we'll make it happen. And, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that kind of playstyle as jungle, especially when, you know, because the greatest example of it is Kit Karukan, who is the best jungler in the league. Like, he's so good at this. Like, his tempo, he's always in the right place at the right time.
The efficiency.
Exactly. He's never wasting time. It's very efficient. That's a good word for it. And so, yeah, I think Nocturne's more that style of pick. You know, it's more that style of pick. And I want to see how he's able to kind of do something with that, you know, in this game here.
And I think there is a kind of wider discussion, I think particularly for newer junglers to a league or a team, that particularly when things are difficult, you can end up being asked to do too many things at once. Like, I need you here, but I need you here. There's dragon spawning in 30 seconds. So your own efficiency, your own pathing, your own plans sometimes get thrown out the window, and balancing what your team needs versus what you need in terms of where you can be on a map realistically without throwing yourself out of the game can be quite difficult. And I can empathize with the difficulty of managing that, particularly for a team like Natives who have been struggling to find consistent form this split.
Bro, look how fast Cartus clears, by the way. He's in spawn after having killed all the camps, and Nocturne is just starting his last camp. Like, what the hell? Oh, dearie me, that's something. Painful, though. He's in trouble as well. Or is he? Uh-oh.
Might not be. Alex taken pretty low. Misses the death sentence, though, and Alex still got the flash, trying to hold on to it. Needs to be a bit wary here. The flay damage is pretty huge. Gets
That's
the
crazy.
heal off the fleet footwork and just gets to walk it out.
How did man not blow a single summoner
Hang
out
on.
of that one?
Oh, no. The Headbutt Pulverize will still interrupt that. The damage back is pretty good. Flash for the hook away. Not quite there as Alex buffers out well enough. They tried to turn the gank into another play onto Alex.
That's great. Oh my goodness, I love that. Ball with like the... That's sick. Like he was
That's big
rescuing his
brain.
team on one side and still flash blade. That's great. Brilliant stuff. So already great value out of this Thresh pick with these roams. You know, how do you beat the God of Death? What do you say to him? You say
Not
Lantern.
today, clearly. I don't
Yeah.
take Lantern, yeah.
Literally.
That will be my last words in life.
Click the Lantern. That's what you say to the
Click
God
the
of
God
Death.
Oh,
And it's working.
somewhere out there, a Thresh maid is tilting right off the face of the planet right
Great.
now.
Hey, they've clicked all the lanterns so far, you know, and they've denied Ruddy these kills. And you know, Ruddy's just such an aggressive team. We say it so many times already.
Hang on, space. The problem with having your Thresh leave means this could happen. First blood goes the way of Nata, and the moment you said, Ruddy haven't got these kills yet,
Yeah, it
they get a
happens.
kill.
Yeah, it's just a bit greedy though, isn't it? That's a little bit greedy there from Space. I've got to respect the fact that, I mean, I think it was even pushing towards him at that point, so he didn't need to be pushed out up there, and does take the fall for that one. First blood going over to Nata here on that Kai'Sa. Gonna get himself a little bit of extra gold on his first recall. Oh, look at this invade from Highbridge though. He might actually meet Cartus as well. He might, with this push in mid, they might look to do something cheeky.
Considering Highbridge going for an invade on the Raptors, trying to steal away what camps they can. We should be able to get a hold of that with some Umbra Glaives, but Painful gets jumped on. Alex trading here. We should get a massive chunk. We'll have another jump forwards, gets the damage down, overcomes Highbridge, but Katurika nearly here as well. But it will still be a one trade for Alex.
Yeah, this is Tristana, right? So crazy. If you can just jump in like this, then it's difficult. It's really, really difficult to manage. Look at the vision from Ruddy as well in the bot side jungle. We've actually seen this quite a lot from Ruddy, where they've invaded as a team in the jungle. Like, they get a push in bot side, and then the bot side, alongside Kit Karukun, would go for the invade. Not this time around, however, and it was a good little adaptation from Highbridge's parking there to protect the bot side, because Kit Karukun was definitely going for that return invade.
Could have been tricky to manage, but again, actually it is well played by Highbridge here to manage to get a nominal CS lead against the Karthus, and that's partly because of the skirmish that's going on, of course. Still going to be an early Dark Seal stack, still doing just fine in the farm, and it will feel like the Karthus will begin to accelerate away from the Nocturne, even with something like a Hydra to work with. It's painful! Nearly dead! Does go down!
off.
Alex will take a turret shot, will die afterwards, but the 1-for-1 style points in mid lane.
Classic Alex play. He'll take that every day of the week. You know that. 100%. Aggressive dive. Trades 1-for-1. At the end of the day, it is an even trade. So not too bad, really, for Painful, but just this pressure that Alex is putting down. It's similar for the both solo lanes, to be honest. Built as well is doing something likewise, where he's able to just get this push, constantly shove the Aloris. And when you don't have any of this solo lane pressure, what do you do as a jungler? Like, what are you looking for here? Like, obviously Highbridge couldn't go for a topside play. He can't go for the grubs or anything like that. But does instead go for this dragon, is able to pick this one up with some pressure from the bot side. So still able to salvage something out of this one is Natives. And I want to make a small point here, which I think is actually really smart. So Kit Karukun took 2 grubs. After taking the second grub, so there's one still alive, he invaded. He took blue, Gromp and this crab. And he hasn't taken that third one because he doesn't want Natives to know where he is exactly on the map because
Genius,
it
'cause he
doesn't
won't reveal it till the third one goes down.
The alert, you know, the alert lady doesn't talk until the third one's dead.
Go. The announcer not going to throw that one out. Alert lady's a great term that was built. Actually really low here. Needs to hop away. Stays alive, but Katurikan is here. That's why he wasn't known. The Aloris trying to trade this one out. Will get a decent chunk back. Flash away for Katurikan, who's now in danger. Flash on forwards. Gives Built the kill regardless with a counter strike.
Well played there from Bill and Kikarukan. Didn't want to risk anything, giving something over to Theoloris right there. Renekton is a tough cookie. Very, very hard to bring down, especially when he has that dominance available, right? So you're just kind of buying time for that one. And in return, not going to die, which would, you know, yeah, putting down Renekton is important. And Jax is going to scale so ridiculously hard, and that is exceptionally hard to play into. But the difficulty is, you know, when you're trying to put Renekton down, he can turn those ganks against you, which, to be honest, he almost did in that situation. But well played by him.
Okay. They are now in a position where they've gotten a few kills on some key members, a couple assists onto this Karthus as well, feeling pretty good. Gold lead not that extensive yet, but it is beginning to grow, and we already know that Ruddy, once they get a lead, pretty dangerous with it, purely because they will not back away from a fight, and once they've got the advantage, those fights get very difficult to manage.
Ikarukan now, level 7, doesn't have a mega advantage over Hybridge right now on this Nocturne.
Not yet, no.
You'll take that. You'll take that if you're Nocturne. Like, obviously Nocturne does not clear as fast as Karthus does, and your game plan wise, you know, Karthus is much more of a PvE style champion early on, at least. But some smart movements on the map, some denial of jungle camps. It's led to this, right? It's led to this situation here where now Hybridge is level 7 kept up alongside the Karthus. The real question now is, of course, your Nocturne. Where's that ultimate gonna get slapped down? It's a really big deal, right? You do not want to mess up your first ulti. That could be very problematic for you. It has a long cooldown. It's high impact. But also, you do not want to risk that. So, we'll see what he decides to do. I see some pings on the Karthus. I don't know if he's actually on vision. I think... Oh, wait. I think that's Ruddy pings. Never mind. So, yeah, they don't see him. But certainly something, you know, that Nocturne could look for a 1v1 against Karthus for sure. Maybe countering the top side.
Maybe look on him, but the grub still remaining there. Might well be picked up by the side of Katurikan. I don't think the spawn afterwards will be in time for another set of grubs, though. So it would only be 3 grubs total that spawn this game, I think.
Yeah, we're getting the invading top side, but here comes Nocturne. He's going to go on Built here, most likely.
Theoloris in danger, but Hybridge now a known quantity. Doesn't pull the trigger, does Hybridge with the paranoia. Now Painful in danger, but Ball is here. Flashes for the hook. It goes wide, and Alex gets flayed into the box. Will hop away. Can look to bust a shot someone back. Maybe forced to do so. Just about goes down as the Ignite comes in to secure it. As top side, Built goes down, and finally Hybridge just sticks around and presses R. What did I say about object permanence and junglers?
It's tough, and these are the challenger players in League of Legends. I know, it's tough. And that's it. Nocturne gets his first ultimate down, is successful. Pretty big deal on that one. Both solo laners from Ruddy fall. And for natives, that was a big issue. That was a big pain point right here. Natives were struggling in the solo
painful.
lanes. Oh, he's going
Be careful, as in comes Nartel looking for the auto. A final plasma attack fails the flash over the wall. Now Hybrid's in danger, but there is a lantern. But look who's already there. Alaric looking to get on top of the Thresh, who tried to pull his jungler out to safety. Doesn't have the flash. The Surely isn't far enough away to run. Must hold on to the Flay, and they can't quite get on top of the Thresh. Gets out alive. Ball playing out these lanterns to save his teammates so well.
Almost got painful out of that one too. That's probably the second time this game that Bull's lantern was maybe like 2 seconds away from... Well, clutch, yes, to save his team, but even the times when his team had died, he was like so close. Like the lantern's there on their corpse, right? Because he throws it just... Well, it's not his fault, it's just obviously unfortunate timing. He's got to the scene of the crime a little too late. But yeah, this Thresh is doing absolute work. I was raising my eyebrows when he got through the draft, right? When Ruddy banned Lulu, and I can't remember who the second support ban was on the rotation. But they didn't ban Thresh when both Hwei and Aphelios were slammed down. I was like, that seems questionable. And so far, this Thresh has done dividends, especially in denying Ruddy's signature aggression.
Okay, towards the dragon we go. Ruddy here chunking this one out, stopping the stacking on that front, and It's a solidly quick one. Kai'Sa plus Dragon secured. Still that death sentence going on through. Ball, gonna try and push himself up towards being the MVP if they win this game. He has been an absolute menace in this early game.
He's struggling as well to retranslate it into something meaningful, at least at this point, for his solo lanes. Like, it's nice to deny, like, the deaths from for your team, but it's not the same as getting deaths, like we might just be seeing.
Oh, that's dangerous damage on the Painful. Remember, has no flash, does not have the Seraph shield either. In a dangerous position, throws out the Spiraling Despair, but Alaric will survive having popped his own ultimate.
Close one right there. I didn't even have to blow the flash, so that's very nice for Painful. He'll take that one for sure.
Didn't have one to flash.
No, he didn't, exactly. So yeah, he doesn't have to. Still gets away with it. Flashless mid lane are not going to get punished this time around, which is very good for natives here. To be honest, they've been holding on very nicely. Goal difference is pretty negligible at this point. Kit Karukin, though, is invading the top side of the jungle. He's looking for an aggressive play. He might just get the smite still. Not quite available. You can see, by the way, look at the jungle pets, the jungle item stacks.
Yeah.
Highbridge is well ahead of Kit Karukin in that sense. That's at least like 3 probably camps.
Yeah, obviously you do end up with the bad. We'll talk about this later as Ball is getting jumped on this Thresh in a dangerous position. Out comes the Paranoia in defense. And top side, Built survives, had to flash top side.
That's it though, right? This is the thing. That's what's so strong about Nocturne, is that Paranoia wasn't even aimed at mid lane. It wasn't coming towards Kit Karukin and co. But they still backed off because they don't know that. They're still a little bit afraid. You go for an aggressive play and immediately the lights get turned out. You think, oh crap, I've overstepped here. I'm getting countered, and so they back away and they chill out a little bit. And even though Nocturne wasn't actually around in mid lane to protect there, they still managed to protect. So not too bad on that front and getting the flash from Built. And in the bot side, as we just saw, Space picking up that tower all by himself.
It's a big deal as well. First turret and the cull completed. Actually gives him 1,000 gold lead, despite the 2 kills in Nata's inventory, so to speak. That's pretty big for this Aphelios, getting all of those plates, getting a hold of the turret, and of course cashing in the cull. Bringing him online a little bit earlier than might otherwise have done for him. That's after Nata has largely been significantly more proactive.
Absolutely. Nata's been around the map.
Hello.
That is sometimes the downside. I don't know about this one though. Ball.
Ball, he's dead. There's no way out. Then he will surely go down. Alex donated the kill. As Alex was waiting in that dragon pit to see whether someone will come and ward, and the answer was yes. Yes, they would.
Alex, he just knows. He can smell it, honestly. He just understands when there's a potential victim around to bring low, and it's Ball this time around. His first death of the game. Up until this point, he's been playing very well. To be honest, I can't blame him too much for that one either. But that's just Ruddy things. To be honest, you're gonna get a death against Alex and Ruddy. It's gonna happen. Alex as well, after picking up that kill, will be matching this bot tower. A lot of gold being injected into his pocket right here as well. Ruddy hovering. There is no dragon, obviously. It's just to see if they can maybe catch someone on the protection for Alex.
Worth noting, all the while the Highbridge is going through the entirety of Karth's topside jungle, saying, well, look, I'm going to take away at least 2 camps. Built's going to try and take away the Krugs here, but with the wave getting shoved to the topside, doesn't feel able to do that, so does come at cost for shielding Alex shoving. That topside tower likely to fall. In comes the Paranoia. Built is very deep here, likely to go down. Too greedy trying to defend the turret.
And there's great stuff. Theoloris picking up that kill right there. That's the 3rd Nocturne ulti delivered into topside for Built. Uh-oh. Here comes the Ruddy Goon
Squad.
Squad.
A bit more interesting. We'll try and get a little bit of fear up, but the damage in many ways is done. As the trample comes on through Theoloris, though.
No way,
likely to survive. Alex is here, though. Damage onto the Nocturne. The rapid fire damage is huge. Gets on the wrong side of the Nocturne, who gets slowed down. Finally falls, and it will be 2 back. They went too far trying to kill Built, and the response from Ruddy is immediate and deadly.
It's the teleport from Tristana that punishes the top lane from natives. They did overstay. Once they got that kill onto Built, they had to dip. You gotta know, Ruddy's gonna be looking for blood. The rest of natives were hanging around. There was one in bot side. There were 2 in mid lane, which I did pick up that tower, mind you, so that's nice. But you know you don't have backup there. You know you don't have backup. You gotta dip. A little bit over aggressive on that front.
Now this Tristana well and truly ahead of the game, doing pretty well in this game. I know obviously Jake was kind of questioning the effectiveness of it, at least in the NLC, and there's certainly some truth to that, but we've seen some of the very best mid laners in the world pop off on it, and Alex trying to be similar here in the NLC, where he has been pretty consistently among our best, if not the best mid laner.
Yeah, I think it's such a great Alex champion. Woof! That cannon minion. Sorry. It's a... Was that his ult? What is going... What's happening? That
was his ult.
That was his ult. What is happening?
That was a choice. Alaric might end up face checking here. No, it's fine. Dragon is spawning now, and the teleports come on through. This will be Ruddy looking to potentially contest. The W lands onto Theoloris, who himself doesn't have that much to work with. But remember, there's still a Herald and inventory here for Katurikan, so they might well just try to use it on this top lane tier 2.
I think that's
as they are roaming into the enemy jungle. They're giving up this dragon, feeling okay to give up just a second dragon.
Yeah, exactly as you mentioned. That's going to be cool. Going to slam that Herald most likely down into that top side. Kikurukan will pick up 3 camps as well. It's only the second dragon, so it's not too bad. If you want to give this one up, it's not the end of the world. A lot of Ruddy members, though, in the top jungle. That's all 4. Built the only exception to this one. As yeah, this is going to be a big siege, but do they really need to dedicate 4 people for this? That seems a little much, to be honest, when you've got a Herald as well. Here comes the transition, though. Globetrotting into mid. Is that Shelly actually going to get a charge in mid? They've ran it from top.
Close range. That's pretty... Oh, Alex, so close. Not bad, but they're still going to get a wave shoved on in here. And 750 gold already secured. Big chunk here into the mid lane. Over the wall goes Alaric. Gets a decent chunk as the lantern comes on through. Nata ults away. Alaric going down. Does finally fall. But what about the damage after a space? Looks for the Moonlight Vigil. Gets a decent chunk. The Spiraling Despair gets one. Death sentence onto Alex. Play afterwards. Built goes down surely. And they will lose 3 as they play far too hard for that mid lane tier 1.
Great response from natives, though, in that play. Amazing stuff. And this TP into the bot side. No one's there to defend just yet. Karthus is on the way, but you're going to lose his mid tower as well. This is a big swing here for natives. This is a big play. And Ruddy, the kings of aggression, just getting a little bit over-aggressive on that one.
Yeah, they tried to take the turret before the fight, but the damage in many ways was already done. It was a great lantern back towards the tower from Ball, who had a box down as well. And with the lights out, it got very tricky. And now in a dangerous position. Katurikan might be able to interrupt Ball here. Doesn't find him, though, on the reset. So still in the end, a relatively even game. 1,500 gold lead towards natives, though, after the swing of that game. But the swing of that mid lane play gives them something to work with. I'll note in particular this Aphelios at 2 items. Going to become increasingly dangerous if he can land a big combo with his ult.
He did so well in that last fight as well. Like from over the wall, he put out a butt ton of damage, and then his ultimate, getting that catch as well, combined with Painful's way ulti just to finish off Nata. He was unable to really do too much right there. It was just a very well executed fight, you know. And rarely do we say this, but Ruddy was just outfought in that play. Yes, the turret was there, and it was, you know, it was not a great scenario to fight in as Ruddy, but really should give credit to natives on how they executed that one.
Now we see Baron being just looked at in terms of vision control. Ball will help secure the vision there as bot side built in danger, but does have Karthus coming on down. Doesn't matter. This Jax is just a ways behind at this point. And has built HP, no resist, gets whacked in the face.
I'm surprised though at 2 items, like it's 2 items a piece, and an item like Sterax is... Well, yeah, there you go, that's it, is it? It's all about the Ninja Tabby. Alex though, yeah.
Hang on, in the mid lane we go. Alex was looking for that 1v1. Highbridge goes on in and decides it was probably a bad idea. Alaric gets pulled back though, hooked afterwards, and will likely fall. That's a huge moment. In the bot lane, Theolor is trading out on top of Alex, who gets a big chunk. The bus shot comes on through. Alex in danger, does not have vision. Theoloris getting some rage, flash away. Alex gets it.
Anytime, yeah, as soon as you walk out of that boosh, that's going to be tough right there. But here comes the TP, here comes the response. Absolutely no world does natives want to stick on this one. There's the hook.
Hook? Onto the Karthus ball! Just doesn't miss.
Beautiful stuff. And Ruddy dedicating 2 teleports to that play, which is, that's the big W here for natives. Yes, you will most likely lose this in a mid turret, but getting both teleports now should make it a bit easier to make a play like that in the future, or at least you stay a little bit safer for the next 5 to 6 minutes, because Ruddy, we know how they like to use their teleports. Not always for objectives, oftentimes just for kills. Does alleviate a bit of pressure there for natives.
There we go, you can see already in inventory, there's the cloth armor. Built knows what's up, needs to get the steel caps, and as we speak about it, locks them in.
Yeah, I was still surprised that like he lost like Triforce and Thunder Sky. I would have put money on that winning against Renekton, especially like I say, Sterex is not it's not a 1v1 item really. You don't build it if you want to.
Yeah, it's team fight burst, really, isn't it? Exactly.
He didn't even like the fact that the shield was triggered against Alex. I think means that it wasn't even used against Jax as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But here we go. A lot of damage for this Nash.
I think
we just have to give this one.
It's over. I don't think they get hit here in time. Paranoia comes on down. They will have no vision on in, and Natives turn up with an Aphelios with 2.5 items and Severum Crescendum, and the Baron just disappears.
Just like that, blink and you miss it. Very good response right there for Natives. A lot of Baron damage, Aphelios and Hui as well. Even this Renekton contributing nicely to that one. This will now be the 4th dragon of the game, but only 2nd for Ruddy if they're able to pick it up. And you know what? I feel like Natives will be okay with that. I feel like Natives saying, okay, we got Baron, you guys can take the 2nd dragon of the game. That's fine. The real question for me now, and a bit of a worry here, is what do Ruddy do after this dragon? Do they go for this fight and collapse in mid lane? Because Natives have been caught overextending in the past.
And Theoloris doesn't have TP, so they need to be a little bit wary about getting caught. Pull off that wave. All the while you can see Painful again without the teleport. Looking to shove out that top lane wave. And being the cleanest set of shoves so far from Natives. Auric gets caught, but again does have the ability to do just that! Space in danger, gets over the wall, staying alive for now. The damage is huge, but not quite enough to bring it down! The Void Seeker after does its work on the top of our screen. Damage onto Katurika, who's hit by the Spiraling Despair. Theoloris doesn't die to Alex, but it is damn close indeed. Painful about to fall out to Nata, who is going to continue to auto his way towards another kill. Ruddy break the Baron before it can ever really begin.
You can run from it, but you can't hide. Ruddy will find you. The team fight, the engage, the flash pulverize from Alaric. It's as easy as that. Ruddy have the tools to jump in. They do just that, and it's all over for Natives in that fight. And this is a pretty big deal because that's a lot of Baron buffs now lost. And Alex is a question that I don't know if Natives have the answer to anymore. He's providing so much pressure in these side lanes.
He's level 16 with an Infinity Edge alongside the Flicker Blades. Anytime that bomb goes off, immediately another jump's available. And at level 16 as well, that Draw a Bead passive, he's probably hitting Caitlyn range at this point.
Also, the Merc Treads for Renekton is not, well, it doesn't do anything versus Tristana.
What CC is he reducing?
Maybe
really?
you thought the Counter-Strike stun was a big deal, but yeah, there's not a lot of CC that's even able to be blocked from Merc Treads, you know, like certainly not Alistair combos or, you know, things like that. So it's really, yeah, I don't know, it's literally just Counter-Strike stun and I guess the Wall of Pain. But that seems like maybe it's purely for the magic resist, take a little bit of edge off of the hybrid damage and like things like the Cast Assault. But considering your, I don't know, Jack's auto attacks is still a lot, and you're probably gonna be matched up against
Tristana's, right? Yeah, like, I know.
That seems like a questionable. I don't know. I could be wrong here. There may be something in it that I'm missing.
Maybe we're missing something exactly, but at least on paper, the both of us are going. I feel like Steel caps this game in terms of your lane opponents. And a double AD carry, even if it is going to be a hybrid build on the Kai'Sa, I see the value in that.
Yeah.
But hey, the decision has been made, and it's certainly hurting that 1v1.
That it did. Alex has no problems cutting through this Crocodile at this point. In fact, I don't think he's going to have any problems anywhere. The only thing that works in Painful's favor is his superior wave players. We're going to get the fight now. Level 16 versus level 14. The fact that Bill wants to take this kind of just shows you how this matchup goes. Theoloris.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, it's a ticking time bomb here, and he has to run away with his tail between his legs.
Ruddy stumbled a bit briefly there, and they are still behind a decent amount of gold, but we are starting to see a lot of these carries start to come online. The Kai'Sa is beginning to get increasingly difficult to manage. Her range profile starting to change now, as well as her W's, I believe, will have been upgraded with the Nashes in inventory as well. Add on top of that, the Karthus continue to scale, the Jax continue to be a menace, and this Tristana, oh man, this Tristana, 2,000 gold ahead individually, is going to be unmanageable in a side lane, at least in a 1v1.
Yeah, I don't even know what Natives decide to do at this point, because they can't actually really create any pressure. You can see, like, it's all about, you know, you don't win any of these side lane matchups, right? You're just at best controlling them, right? And that's never really a recipe for success, right? It doesn't make you the proactive agent in these games, and so then what do you do? You know, what do you do in this situation? Ruddy can really dictate the pace of everything and pick the fights and make the plays happen, which, to be honest, even though natives are ahead in goals still, this past kind of 5-10 minutes, Ruddy has dictated everything.
Okay, so Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. That would be soul point for either team. Baron in a similar timer. You can see it on your map right now. Should be within the minute itself, so that will be a big deal. Of course, the scaling continue to be problematic. Alex nearly at that 4th item, which would be that Lord Dominic's regards. Critical strike, where you're beginning to get pretty difficult to mitigate.
Hard engage from natives is certainly lacking as well, but that's a good hook. That's about as good as their engage gets, right? A hook like that, and it's
Balric, he has to ult early. The root afterwards flashes away. After now, Theolor is in danger. Flashes to get on top of Alex, who jumps away, stays alive for now. Buster shot out. They do get the kill. Alex has teleport, so can reset, come back in. Nata goes on forwards with the killer instinct and presses Q. When in a Cathian reigns, it pours.
It was such a good try. Great little engage there by natives, but not quite able to bring down Ruddy. Alex level 17. Those base stats doing work right there. That's the 3rd dragon now for Ruddy, but more importantly, that's going to be the Nash as well.
They will head on over. Soul point secured. Fight secured, and Baron shortly to fall afterwards. At this point, there is no way that this Nash survives more than 10 seconds. You feel, look how much damage and auto attacks will be coming on 3.
Yeah. Gosh, this thing is just gone. This thing is absolutely gone. I mean, there's no chance of stealing. Highbright isn't even up, but yeah, it's not a thing right here. Natives, these team fights, that was actually not a terrible go of things, honestly. You don't want to engage onto an Alistair, like, obviously, but you know, as it turned out, getting that flash stun onto Alex almost worked out for natives. It was so close. They were literally missing, like, 100 extra damage. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't die and he's got a teleport, then that's just going to be enough for you. They're really, really hard to bring down now.
Oh, they are now in an interesting position where 1,000 gold is the lead, but the Baron is now on, and the base can start to get broken on. While, see this Tristana at 4 items getting scary. A death cap nearly in for Kaiser, and as we said, that profile is changing from being a close range assassin to being a poke machine shortly now as well. Those W's with the reset on hitting champions are going to get really, really nasty.
Oh, he's just mega at this point. No one is safe. Everyone else in the game has like 3 items. This man has, 4+. It's tough. It's really, really tough to deal with Alex. He's sitting in the side lane. He's doing his thing. Alaric is more than happy to constantly face check these things because he just pops his ult and he's fine with it. Creates a lot of vision, a lot of control. Meanwhile, Ruddy just pushing all these waves down. They're basically a 5 units strong. They may even look for a potential dive here. It's going to be tough to hold.
Gonna try and do their very best, but it feels like the tools to go forwards are pretty much a one-way ticket. Nocturne, as the game goes on, really struggles to make the engagers hurt the way they do earlier on into the game. Still, though, Siege continues. Space as well, maybe with Gravitum, if he can hit a good auto-attack or a big ultimate, can maybe find the Eclipse to make something happen. Again, ball lands a hook, but it's only onto Alaric, not the target you really need to find at this point of the game. Nata jumps on Space! Not quite enough, but the static shove! Plus static shock, static shift, there's the word for it. I stumble my words and Space stumbles and falls to the ground. The inhibitor turret now falling apart.
That was nasty. Surgical almost by Nata and Kikaruku comboing on that one. Blink and you miss it. Space just had no way right there, and here comes the dive.
Crushing more lands onto Alex, but the damage is already done. The Nocturne comes flying on through with the paranoia, but Alex is safe enough with the buffer, and the turnaround begins to fly on through as Nata is largely untouched. Nexus turret number 1 has fallen. The second short to fall afterwards, and natives, they are looking like they have nothing left to say in this game. Ruddy, after a messy mid-game, after a competitive mid-game, take the advantage and run natives through.
It was a good-looking game, though, for Natives for a long point, and they tried their best, and to be honest, for a lot of it, it was, as you say, exceptionally competitive. But Ruddy just showing their class. They are just such a good team. Like, it almost feels inevitable with them, right? Like, they're just going to be able to find ways to win. They're going to have the pressure. They're going to choke you out. And they're going to win those fights. And that's pretty much what it came down to at the end of the day. Ruddy just performed really well again in the way that we always see them perform really well. And it's the reason why they're the best team in the league.
Yeah, and again, they tried to shut down Bill, got him a bit behind, but Nata gets kills on the other side. They attack Alex how many times in mid lane and get some people out of dodge in mid lane, but all the time Alex doesn't really fall behind. He gets ahead of the game and becomes an absolute menace, and Ruddy continue to be the best performing team in the NLC, continue to want to prove that Spring wasn't a fluke. They will be our best team heading into EMEA Masters. We'll be leaving our best selves behind for a moment here, guys, because we need to go to break, and the desk will break down the end of the day for now. See you around.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.
We are back with Nocturne. Yeah, you moving in. How you doing? Pleasure to talk to you again. Average. That was close. I felt like that could be in the bag for you.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it happens though. I think sometimes we just have this tendency of not being safe in transition, and we just mess up A. And it's like, I think it's a mistake that's kind of haunted us for the first 2 games. We saw in the first 2 games against Nord, against Verdant, and it's happening right now at the end as well. So it's just something we haven't managed to fix, and I think it's been putting us in the behind the entire split.
But I like the fact that it's not like you have anything to lose. You want to show who you are, the identity of natives, and bringing in the Nocturne, bringing in the comfortable picks. There's a change now, and you can actually feel it. Like, you made Ruddy sweat, and that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, this shows that natives could have been a playoffs team. And what do you want to show for the last remaining games that you have ahead? And keep in mind, you can change the entire playoffs ecosystem with the remaining 2 games. It's in you. It's your hands.
Elijah and Kenny, they messaged me. They say they kind of need my help to save them. I thought about it, you know. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, my goal in every game is, the first goal is to try to win. The second goal was to try to improve on certain things, right? You don't really get many opportunities. You get 14 games of split if you're not that lucky, which we aren't this split. So you've got 14 games of split to try to show improvements, to try to improve, see how far you've come. And I feel like you've definitely seen some growth, right? But I've also, like, there's some mistakes that I make that I just kind of the repeated mistakes. I think today played quite well, but the next 2 games I want to show that I can go like a step above that. You know, I can just carry a game, just win my team a game instead of just being, let's say, I don't know, performing well in the game. I want to like win the game for the team if we need it. You know, if that's my job that game.
I don't know if I'm going to talk to you for the last remaining 2 games. So if this is our last interview of this split, what would be your takeaway from the split with natives?
I don't know. There's hard. There's a lot. I don't know. I could be here for hours, right? But we're on broadcast schedule, so I can't. The main takeaway would probably be that I learned a lot. Obviously, right? Dem was a fantastic coach for jungle. He fixed so many holes in my game. I definitely also learned how to adapt to my style a bit. Like, I know in NLC so far I've played a lot of supportive junglers, but I pretty much never touched Sejuani. A bit of Sejuani, but I never touched Maokai, Vi, Xinjiao, those champions. I just was mainly a pure bruiser player, right? I played bruiser and AP champions. And this split, I was kind of forced to just go into perform that role for my team. So I think I've gone a lot better there. It was my rookie split, right? So I've learned a lot in terms of communication and stuff like that, how to be more professional. And I can take that away with far along my life in all walks of life, right? Not just playing professionally. So I learned that. Obviously, there's other things, right? It was a blast and stuff like that. And I learned a lot, both in life and in the game.
Any moment you cherish the most through this split with natives, inside of game or outside of game? One of that's you look back and you say this is...
Nah, there's definitely a few I can't talk about on stream, but there's in game. It would just be maybe the Venom Crest win. I think the entire team was kind of in the dumps there, but I was just kind of telling my team, guys, I promise you, we can win this game. We can win this game. And they didn't want to pick me the Volibear that game, and I was like, guys, trust me, Volibear is good here. And then we picked it, so it's kind of I think it was kind of one of those games where you just upset everyone's predictions, right? Even I feel like some people in the team didn't think we were gonna win. So I think that was definitely probably the coolest one. I know it's a bit pathetic saying that one of your 3 wins is your highlight, but in the split that had a lot of lows, I think that was one of the rare highs. But yeah,
I mean, I would say if there's anything to take away, you said hey, as a rookie and all that, I learned a lot, and I got to work with Demb. He's an amazing coach as well. That's a win in my book. And for instance, if you got this game, we all voted for you as the MVP. If you won this game, you would be the MVP. Just letting you know that
no worries.
Your name was there.
Thanks a lot for that, but yeah. And I just want to say, you do a great job on the broadcast. I saw some on Twitter, so thank you. I appreciate you guys all.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you very much. Average, it was a pleasure talking to you. Let's see if we meet again in the future.
Yeah, hopefully. See you, mate. Cheers.
Do you know my takeaway from this game?
I'm happy. Yeah.
First of all, very lovely to hear from Hybrid. Nice to have some compliments from the players. But my my major takeaway from this game is like natives have a chance. Like they could potentially do the upset next week.
Destroy
Also,
everything.
keep in mind, they're not completely done. We were saying there's nothing to play for, but actually, depending on the outcome of Verdant and the outcome of them next week, they could avoid relegation. So that was a team who were playing with something still to fight for. And damn, they didn't look too bad there. They did not look too bad.
It goes to show. It goes to show, absolutely. I think that definitely Highbridge had a lot of amazing moments in this game, but also would like to highlight Space, because his performance in Aphelios was pretty... I don't want to say it was, groundbreaking or absolutely over the moon or, things like that. But he had a great team, had a bunch of great team fights. And even Bo, I know, hey, Prain, you weren't very that excited about that performance, especially because of the hooks. But he still was doing the job that you want Thresh to do, which is just provide that safe space to your teammates.
And they were playing the champions that they wanted to play with, not the meta.
Exactly.
Even when they have something to fight for. I love that. That shows personality. Well, someone has a lot of personality, and there's no way to introduce this one. Let's toss it to the RUD interview. He's waiting. He's mad. He's mad. Why are you mad?
I'm not mad, I'm fine. I mean, I'm actually quite happy because, the beautiful thing about this is we gave a team like Natives who are just all feeble, just bad players. And we just gave them a little bit of hope for just that second. And it's like when you dangle freedom in front of rats and then we took it away from them in the last second. So that almost feels more sweet than a victory, just to give them the fact that they lived in hope for a few more seconds before we brutally ended their split. And potentially might send them to relegation as well. It's this sort of thing that, just gives me a lot of joy, to be honest with you.
You know what's even better? It's even when you talk like that, you're a really nice guy and you've developed a lot of friendships in the league. For instance, Middlecott donating his hair to you so you can look like that right now. That is lovely, man.
Well, I don't know how much hair you thought Middlecott had. I don't think he had this much, mate.
I was confused. But now going to the serious point of this, everybody's saying, hey, we want to face RUD on playoffs. We want to face RUD on playoffs. How are the turntables?
Well, I don't think it's table. I think we've always been the team to beat. I mean, the thing was before, we've always been the best org in the league by a wide margin. It was just a case of having the competitive results to back it up. And now we're the full package, right? It's interesting. Of course, I watched an interview with Memento. He said that we're bullies and he wants to play us. It's an interesting way to reframe it. You had a lot to say last split, but then we gave you an extra vacation. So, you can call us bullies, but the thing is, you gave us your lunch money and you said, please eat from our spoils. And we said, fine, we're going to go to EU Masters instead. And we did. So yeah, of course we're bullies. A lot of people look at us and they want to play us. Of course they want to play us. We're all your fathers. We run this league. Without us, you're nothing. All of you. So we are the lifeblood that keeps all of these orgs running. You should thank us. I want a personal thank you from every org's accountant in this league that I allow your organization to still run. Because without us, you'd be bankrupt.
So if you're the father, please tell me, what's the script for the last game? Nord versus RUD. What can I expect?
Nord versus RUD, I don't it doesn't the last time.
You don't care. What do you mean you don't care?
I don't care. They're little. These are little boys to me. These are little guys. This is a grown man's game. Whatever happens, happens. Obviously, I hope we win. I hope it's a good match, more competitive than the last one. I like the little sob story they told about how their jungler had to play. I heard a rumor that it was because certain someone didn't fill out the forms to be able to play out on time. So that's what I heard at least. There's a little sob story though. But yeah, we're bullies, man. Of course we're bullies. But we're ready to play. Of course, everyone wants to.
There's something I wanted to talk with you specifically, and I'm happy that I can do it on air. Remember last split, there was a miracle run. Remember that, and you achieved everything that you needed to do in order to become who you are right now. You grow up a lot, and on this split, there's another miracle run happening at the same time. Light side. Do you look back and you look at them and they can actually do something that we did, or you're we don't care?
Listen, the thing is, this is the part where you're the snake oil salesman and you want me to put a positive spin on this, but I'm not a good guy. So
you're the bully.
I have nothing but contempt in my heart. So I just say this every time I hear about people putting a spin on a Natives Miracle Run or an LLS Miracle Run. These players are like 1/500th of the organic matter value of the players that we had last split. Like, there's no way you can even like conflate the two. And to like even compare the two is to like completely denigrate and devalue the Miracle Run that we made last split. Like, they're not in the same realm of ethereal reality. Like, we're not existing in material reality in the same way. Like,
so it's a cheap spin-off of a famous movie.
Yeah, this is like God, what even is? I don't know what the metaphor would be. Like, it's so bad that it doesn't even deserve a metaphor.
Oh gosh, you missing a word is something out of this world, Jake. Anything you want to say to the folks back at home that are rooting for Ruddy, or actually looking at you as the bully?
Yeah, well, all the fans like love us, of course, because we actually represent something to support in, and we represent something that's like vibrant and bright, and a bright future for the NLC, and just like sorry to the other orgs, sorry to the fans of other orgs that you've not yet managed to find Ruddy yet. So we'll be waiting for you. We'll be waiting for you. The door's always open.
What about the haters, like the people that call you bully?
What about the haters, like Memento, Nord, all these other orgs? Like, at the end of the day, man, I'm the one that lets you still coach that team, man. I'm the one that keeps the books paid, keeps the fucking food in the bellies, man. Like, I'm the landlord, bro. You guys need to stop calling me the landlord, bro. Like,
have you realized you are the Ornn of League of Legends? You are the top laner, the tank, the shaman. You know, we did everything. You're the same, but now for the Nordic. Like, you're the accountant, like you're the CEO. You are everything, man.
Multi-versatile, man. That's me, man. Interdisciplinary.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for the interview, Don Jake. Pleasure to talk with you. Are you returning the hair, or is like it's permanent?
Bro, these are my natural curls, bro. Like, they're saying, okay. The streets are saying that I'm Marwan Fellaini.
Gosh. Hey, call me the call. He kind of needs you, okay? Call him.
Bro, this is what miracles look like.
Thank you for this. Have a lovely one. I'll see you soon.
I mean, Don Jake is just like he's hit his he's doing like his reverse Lex Luthor. Like, his grown hair have become a full-on villain. It's
he takes
so
no
good,
prisoners, man. He takes
he's taking no prisoners. Oh my word! I was excited. I was super excited to see what his response was going to be to yesterday's interview, and that was more than I expected.
The reverse Lex Luthor is probably one of the best things I've ever heard in my entire life.
He's an interesting individual, but Natives pulled off an amazing game. Even though Alex at the end of it is going to be the MVP, even Nata could have pulled off that MVP as well. Everybody did a good job on Ruddy, but Natives showed something today that highlights that this team has something going on. So, what's your takeaway at the final of this game? Oh,
I mean, I'll jump in first. I think Alex got MVP because his movement was impeccable. Those thresh ganks, you just couldn't hit a skill shot on him. Yeah. He was playing so well. And yes, Nata probably also a very strong contender for MVP. He did his job very well late game though. He was tidying up a lot of the fights. It felt like Alex was the reason that game was able to get to that place, just because of how well he was playing that Tristana. But yeah, Ruddy, I don't think it was their cleanest game. I think they're having a little bit of fun, but they still showed that they are still a very, very scary team. I'm excited for next week when they get put up versus like a real challenge. I'm also very excited to see what Natives are going to bring to the table, because I don't think they look bad here. They lost, but I don't think they look bad at all, right?
It was a pretty competitive game in the end of the day, right? I mean, it wasn't that close and by any margin, but it still was a game when you sit there and think, you know what, after that team fight, maybe they can turn this around. Maybe they can find a space for themselves, a window of opportunity or something. The only thing that when I look at Ruddy right now, and I feel like, there's a lot of menace coming from here, is that both of the carries have shown that they're able to step up exactly when you need them to step up in that game, right? Something you mentioned, Hipbrain, is that Alex was doing his chunk of job in the early and mid game time of the game, while Nata was stepping up in the late game of this particular collision, right? And I feel like that kind of brings up the extra bit of danger in Ruddy as a team, that you have to keep in mind that if you shut down one of the carries, there is always going to be another one that just steps right in the place of that first one that just got knocked down. And it's kind of strangely enough, I want to make a comparison to a Souls-like game. You know what I mean? It's like you bring down the first boss and you just kind of start to chill out and you just sit there and go, okay, that was pretty hard. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me now, right? Wink, and then the second boss that pops up and you go, oh Jesus! You know, that's the same thing that kind of happened in this game. I feel like.
I thought you were going to bring the Russian doll where you were like, oh, I'm going to break this one. There's
you mean the Matryoshka?
See? Like I'm trying to use your, you know.
And there's 5 of them, right? So you go, okay, that's the top lane, that's the jungle, that's the mid one, that's AD carry, that's the small one. Whenever they're gonna bloody end.
Yes.
How long?
Well, if you want the end, let's show you the end of the standings for today's show. We got ready.
I'm sorry, Archer. I'm sorry, Archer. That was one of your weaker ones, man.
It's a segue. Ready in first place, followed by Nord, DMG, and Venom Crest. They're all tied up in second place, but Nord and DMG are locked in. Venom Crest are still fighting for their position. I was going to look into the other side, but there's other teams there. LLS, Venom Crest, Verdant, and Blue Whites. There you go. LS, Verdant, Natives, and Blue Whites. Natives and Verdant, 1 game difference. This is really important as we move on with the league. I also have the current standings and the way things can end. Okay, I'm looking at
Don't try and read a foldy sheet live on air, Archer. We're going to see the steam coming out the side of your ears. It's not going to happen.
No, I've been studying this, so I can tell you something, okay? I'm going to be honest with all of you.
Okay.
I did, like, I failed math. So, moving on to Fantasy League. If you want to participate, well, you only have 1 week available, so you have to pop off if you want to win one of these prizes. We have a lot of people participating in it, and if you're the best of the best, the creme de creme, you'll be able to get one of these prizes. They are lovely. They're sponsored by Steel Series, by the way. And the mouse is actually really good. Hipbrain talked about it yesterday. He still has his own. And Middlecart is actually giving away his mouse. I don't know why.
Own personal mouse. I said yesterday, I actually have that wireless, the Aerox. Is that what's called? Yeah, Aerox 5 wireless
the Aerox,
mouse. There it is. Look at it, all lovely and lit up. Lovely thing. Genuinely the best mouse I've ever used. Definitely the best wireless mouse I've ever used. I love it. And we said this yesterday. I don't pull my punches. I don't care if it's still Series sponsor. I genuinely say, if it was crap, I'd say it's crap. It's not. It's really good.
It's Hipbrain. He doesn't have a filter. But well, let's look into predictions to understand if we were able to do anything good. Well, Duckling initialized with the perfect day, which means Duckling jumps in the standings. Oh boy, this was a bad day for pretty much everybody. Let's move on to show us the standings.
I got 11 points, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still good.
Second place, Hipbrain.
Yeah, I'm on fire. I told you.
Look
I said this yesterday. I was pretending. Foxy's minus 10.
Yeah, I'm looking at Fox and I'm like, what is going on here?
He promised he wouldn't go minus. He promised.
This is not a golf show. It's not about going minus, man. You have to get some points, Fox.
Oh no.
What is happening?
I do like the fact that I was able to make a bit of a due diligence to the guest role. So us guests and Archer are standing on the same position. So, I'll take that. I stay here with one of the most goated hosts ever time to bless the League of Legends. So, I'm fine. I'm just going to stay there happily, just, kind of...
I'm gonna rain on your parade here. Both the guest and Archer were tied in 4th at the end of yesterday, and now you're both tied in 6th. So
I don't care. We're still tied.
Just to kind of ruin that one a little bit.
We're still tied.
You're just jealous here, Brain, that I have.
I'm second. I'm second place. What am I
You're just jealous that I get to be tied with Archer and not you.
True. I do spend most of my time tied with Archer.
Well, what about next week? You want to know what games we have prepared for you? Well, let's show you. Blue Whites will open up the appetite with Nord, followed by Verdant versus LLS, RUD versus DMG, and then we end up the day Natives versus Venom Crest, an important one for Natives so they don't end up in relegations. And on the other side, Venom Crest are trying to lock in their playoffs position on the other side. Then Nord versus RUD, the match we've all been waiting in. This time it will be played with a coach in the jungle position, followed up by Venom Crest versus LLS. This could be the deciding one for playoffs. Blue Whites versus Verdant. It could also mean who's going for the relegations, and DMG will finish the split versus Natives. This is the regular split. Then we have playoffs, and we're really happy. Then we go to EMEA Masters, and then we get beat up time and time again. A tale as old as story.
Just a quick note as well. It said June. We're not playing these games next year. It is actually July, the dates. So we are playing next week as normal.
It's the Doctor Who theme that gets reappeared of traveling in time, you know? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what? Doctor, this is your time to say goodbye and tell us tell us. I don't know what, but tell us.
I mean, sure. But no, I mean, thank you very much, Archim and Himprain, for having me here on the desk. It was an absolutely amazing experience. I've loved it to the bottom of my heart, even though that stepping on the desk rolls is most of the times for me is one of the stressful things I can do with my life. But, you know, I've enjoyed it as much as I could. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well, having my company here with you. And I'm going to send just a small message to initialize, which will be Ling Long and prosper. Regardless of that, thank you very,
Is
very
that the
much.
wrong Star show? Hold on.
It is.
He's a Star Wars fan, man, not a Star Trek fan.
Haven't we basically touched upon all the possible fandoms? I mean, if you wanted to just sit here and tell you that winter is coming, I can do that as well.
It's summer!
But the winter is coming anyway.
I mean,
in
he's
half
not
a year.
wrong. Winter is coming. It's a ways off, but it is coming.
I guess. Hey, the end is coming. Brian, tell me.
The end is coming. The heat death of the universe is approaching slowly but steadily. Maybe not in your lifetime. Maybe in your lifetime. We'll find out. Oh, boy, it's a good league, though. Everything's well tight, isn't it? Right, the last week.
Yes. Thank you for that. Goodbye, Hipbrain. For all of you folks back at home, thank you so much for watching. It's not the same without you. You know you're part of the show. This wouldn't be the same. So tune in for next week, which will be the last week from Summer Split at NLC. Other ERLs are almost finished. Others are finished already. But we're still moving on with you because this is an adventure and we're all going together. And until then, keep climbing. Never stop. I'll see you soon. Hey, live long and something. I don't know.
Break it down. Break it down. Step on the gas, let's get out of town. We're gonna break out and have some fun. We're gonna do what you never done. Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, take your body with you. It's a money weekend. Everything we wanna, we go do. We go do. And slash, we go do. Shoulders, we're showing stories told. Watch the fire burn away the cold. I am rising from the dust. Despite how much we lost, you will not take away my strength.